but we're going to kind of extensively go through the latest that came in with the 11 o'clock advisory. There have been a couple of changes, especially with regard to the intensity of both Hurricane Humberto and Tropical Storm Imelda. So I'm going to give folks a minute to kind of join in, and so we can digest all of this wonderful new information. A lot going on. Too much going on, if you ask me. But it's always interesting when you got two tropical systems as large as these two systems are getting close to one another. Things can happen. So, well, we'll start in about 30 seconds. We're going to talk for a while. Got my water. Somebody told me my Owala was boring because the colors are all the same. I took offense to that. All right, let's go ahead and get started. The 11 o'clock advisory came in this morning. By the way, I'm meteorologist Brian Slocum. Thanks for joining us today. You got one major hurricane out there and one tropical storm. It's really starting to get better organized. So on the right, we have Hurricane Humberto. It's a Category 4. The winds were starting to come down a little bit from that storm system, but then sometime this morning, Hurricane Hunter aircraft started to fly through this and said, whoa, wait a minute, these winds are actually stronger than we thought. So it went from 130 where it was at the time and then bumped it up to 145, and it's still kind of in that range. The eye disappeared a while back. It went through what's called an eye wall regeneration cycle. The simplified version of that is the winds around the center are spinning so fast that it can't hold its structure together very long. And it's still spinning, but the eye wall tends to get ragged, it tends to fall apart. Sometimes clouds obscure it a little bit like it has been, and then it reforms at some point. It could be larger, it could be smaller, and sometimes it even reforms in a different place. But it's kind of going through that now, hoping that eye will poke out again soon, but it is a powerful Cat 4. On the left, you have Tropical Storm Imelda. This storm took forever to develop, interacted with land. It had some dry air over Florida that was dealing with it, but it's been over warm waters and then kind of racing through the Bahamas. And just this morning, we've been noticing some better organization with this storm system. It's starting to get more of a classic tropical storm shape. It is expanding in size a bit more, and it is still moving to the north. So you can see on the satellite and radar image together that we do have bands of rain that are already starting to move in. Coastal bands have been more. Obviously, if you've looked out the window and you live in the Piedmont Triad, it's been raining pretty lightly for the last couple of hours. Outer Banks to the north, not looking too bad at all for at least initial impacts. We've seen occasional gusts around 20 or 25 miles per hour. Piney Island has been showing most of that. Not seeing too much else other than a few patchy showers, but most of the rain has moved inland. The rainfall forecasts have changed a bit. We're going to go over that too as we go through time. But at least the latest, we'll start with Humberto. The storm has been more long-lived. This is the bowling ball in the Atlantic right now. A pretty large storm. It's not as symmetrical as it was. Peak winds were at 160 on Saturday. That's Cat 5 strength. And then some of the intensity dropped a little bit. It's been a Cat 4 pretty much ever since that point. Movement's been steady, northwest in the teens. Right now it's at 13 miles per hour. We watch for pressure fluctuations. From the 8 a.m. advisory to the 11 a.m. advisory, the pressure dropped, and that might be an indication of strengthening. When the winds are this fast, it's going to fluctuate in strength a bit. The general trend is for this storm to start weakening as we go through time. And you can see that the track really hasn't changed very much of this storm. But notice we put also Imelda on this map too to kind of give you an idea how close these storms are going to get together before first Humberto starts to move out and then the rest follow. So this eventually will pass near Bermuda. Bermuda essentially is centered right here, kind of going around the island nation at that point. So the effects of this The storm is broad enough where they'll likely see tropical storm conditions developing by late tomorrow. The biggest issue with all of these storms with regard to Bermuda and the United States is going to be the rough surf that create, the rip currents, the big swells. I mean, there's two big storms out there in close proximity to the U.S. This is going to mess with the beaches, the overwash. Could see some beach erosion from this, and even though they're relatively quick movers and staying offshore, the fact that there's two of them, you've got, it's like a blender out there, and it's going to really kind of mess with surf for at least a few days this week. So that's as of the 11 o'clock advisory with Humberto. You watch how these two storms interact, and I want to show you this before we show you the track of Tropical Storm Imelda. Notice at one point that these storms almost connect a little bit. They get close enough within about 800 miles or so where one band kind of wraps around into the other. And whether or not that happens or not, it just shows you that these two things are steering forces on their own. It's an area of low pressure. It pulls things in. So these are like two giant magnets in a way, and they're looking for areas of low pressure to flow in. So this being the dominant storm, it's going to tug on this one a little bit once they get close enough. And as this starts to move around a ridge of high pressure in the Atlantic, it's going to pull this one behind it, which is going to affect the intensity of the storm a little bit, but it's also the main steering force that's going to pull this thing away from the United States. If you haven't seen anything about the tropics since maybe Friday, if you're watching at work and just kind of took the weekend off and just chilled out, hey, I'm with you. The forecast has changed considerably since Friday, because beginning Friday evening, the storm that initially looked like it was going to curve back into South Carolina and perhaps move into western North Carolina. It's not what you want to hear on the anniversary of Helene. The forecast has changed considerably as what was Tropical Depression 9 and now Imelda was moving slow enough near the Caribbean islands that it was not getting picked up by the steering forces that was going to pull it into the United States in the first place. So there's a lot moving around. There's a lot of moving parts. Timing is essential as far as where the storm gets steered, because all of these steering forces are moving themselves. So if it's a little slower than expected, it might not get picked up by one steering force and then gets picked up by another, and that's kind of what's happening here. But there's a stationary front near the coast too, and that's going to enhance rainfall a little bit. I just want to mention that now, but look how quickly one storm follows the other out. And really since Friday night, we have been watching this trend in the models, moving north for a while and then kicked out east. North for a while for a couple of days and then get kicked out to the east. It seems like maybe twice a day, maybe even 4 times a day, when these models update, the turn comes a little more quickly, and there's been a couple of other issues with that as well. So let's get to where we think Imelda is going to do. You can see in the tropical models almost immediately, the majority of the models start to swing this out to sea. What was happening over the weekend was the storm was moving north, stalling here for maybe 2 full days, Tuesday into Wednesday, and then eventually would move out. So the general trend is to turn it sooner and to turn it more quickly. Turning it while it's farther away from the U.S. coast and move it out more quickly. That's going to lessen the impact from rain and wind to not only the triad, but also along the coast. So we've had to adjust the expectations of the forecast from there too. So winds are up to 60 miles per hour now. When I got up this morning very early, north movement at 5 and then at 7 miles per hour, it went up to 8 and now 9. So it's picking up a little bit of forward speed. The winds were originally at 45 miles per hour, went up to 50 in the 8 o'clock advisory. Now they're at 60, so it's strengthening. This is likely going to become a hurricane by later tonight, maybe even happen later today. Probably not by the time the 5 o'clock advisory comes in, but they may be up to 70 by then. So later this evening, this could become Hurricane Imelda. If not tonight, it's expected to happen by sometime early tomorrow. So the winds are starting to pick up, and it's looking healthier too. As you take a look at this, you get the full kind of round appearance now. We didn't have that before. A couple days ago, we had a blob of storms here, a blob of storms in the south. It was completely open on the western side because of some dry air. So now it's starting to look like a system should. So it's presenting better. That's what we look at. It's presenting better, and that's usually a good sign that it's strengthening. So here's the official track from the National Hurricane Center. Tropical storm strength by 8 o'clock this evening. We just talked about that, and perhaps by early tomorrow morning, it's a hurricane. Even by 2 a.m., 5 a.m., this could be Hurricane Imelda, and then it continues to move out to sea. Underneath this track is where Bermuda is. So Bermuda is going to have to deal with the indirect impact of Humberto really in the Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. And then we look at here now. Bermuda's right about here. You're looking at Wednesday night, shortly after that. A perhaps Category 2 hurricane could be rolling over Bermuda. So that's 2 tropical systems that it's going to have to deal with in the span of about 24 to 36 hours. So that's going to be a big deal. I think initially, as I mentioned before, Humberto is probably just going to provide challenges with shipping lanes and with boating, and certainly at the beaches as well. Not as much from a wind or damage perspective. And then on the heels of that, almost immediately, we got a trailing hurricane coming through the area. So this is what radar and satellite looks through now. That cold front washed out that was to our north, that's really no longer there, but at least it's helping to concentrate some additional cloud cover there and might provide a little extra oomph to bring out some rain. It's the stationary boundary near the coast that's helping to enhance this rainfall that is hugging the coast and now beginning to move inland. That's going to swing through the area and gradually increasing our rain chances today. Already raining, already high rain chance across the triad. This is current. This is what we're seeing right now. Current time is just about 11:30 this morning. We have temperatures that are in the mid to upper 60s. They'll likely get close to 70, maybe a few spots in the lower 70s, but the more steadily it rains, the less likely we're going to see that. Might be a little warmer in the foothills where the rain really hasn't gotten underway yet. We've got some pockets of good rain coming in. This is far enough away. We're not concerned about thunderstorms or severe weather over our area. We're just going to continue to watch this. Your hour-by-hour forecast, we do have some wet weather starting to kind of trickle in as we go through time. Doing a pretty good job picking up on that. Notice the lull that we start to see as we head into the evening hours. Some spotty rain beginning to develop, but then it picks up again. We get another wave that comes through later tonight. And that wave overnight is most likely when the foothills and the mountains are going to see their best rainfall. And we're looking at totals that aren't overly impressive, but we could have a few heavy downpours that produce some decent rain. Initially, it looked like this is going to wind down early Tuesday morning. I'm not so sure about that yet. This might have some staying power and at least bring some scattered showers through the area into maybe lunchtime, maybe a few sprinkles into the afternoon, but the bulk of the rain is going to be Monday and Monday night, especially Monday night for our western neighbors. By Wednesday, this starts to clear. We have a northeast wind and we're going to cool temperatures down. It'll be near 60 Wednesday morning and high temperatures on Wednesday afternoon, probably not getting back to 70s. And we're looking at dry air wrapping around behind this system for a couple of days. So that fall weather we like so much that we miss because it got humid, that's coming back, at least for a few days this week. So our forecast today, I'll go through this quickly. We got impact icons up just for the best chances for rain coming in, starting really now across much of the triad. High temperatures should be close to 70 degrees today. For the foothills, a little bit warmer, maybe a bump into the lower 70s this afternoon, and then those rain chances start to step up. We may drop impact for the foothills and mountains altogether. I'm going to consult with Dave Aiken here soon and talk about that more. But rain chances are going to peak for just a little while, and then they're going to start to drop off after that. Mountains the same, a chance for a few showers around, but not many. High temperatures will be in the 60s later on today. So potential rainfall, this goes through Wednesday evening. Not looking overly impressive. This particular model has, and this updated, and I wish it hadn't because I like the way it looked better. You can see in many cases less than an inch of rain for most areas. Some cases less than a half of an inch of rain, even less than a quarter, perhaps in our western counties. It's this area along and south of 85 where I think we'll have the best chance of seeing some 1-inch totals, perhaps an inch and a half in some of those areas, so we'll be watching out for that. As far as our winds are concerned, I think we're far enough away from the storm that wind is not going to be a big issue, that we are going to have at least some gusts up to about 20 miles per hour through today, and then into tonight up to 25. Those gusts could get up to about 30 miles per hour, I think, for the early part of tomorrow, and then the winds begin to relax. So that's going to be pretty breezy at times, if not gusty, but it's something we'll pay close attention to. And the last thing I'll mention is that our timing, our impact of this is really today into part of tomorrow. Rainfall totals may get up to an inch, maybe a few possible higher ones, with gusts to about 30 miles per hour over the area. So we'll watch out for that. And there's your 7-day. We got some terrific weather coming our way. Nice weather, a little bit warmer this weekend, but the humidity should stay relatively low as we go through time. So that is your late morning update with the storms. I think we're going to be in fairly good shape. Just kind of keep an eye on how things shape up. We're pretty confident in the track right now, but if this storm decides not to turn, that's something we'll have to address, because that's going to completely change the forecast. But don't worry about that. We're not worried about that as of yet. I just wanted to mention that that would be the factor that changes the forecast. We're going to do another one of these, I think, this afternoon. Taylor, are we doing another one of these this afternoon? We will be doing another one of these this afternoon, so make sure you join us then. Bye.